this loss a big deal?
I think it's a big deal, but not because of a win or a loss or whatever. It's a big deal because I don't like what I saw on that last shot. LeBron James drives, draws an entire team to him, kicks it out to Anthony Davis, who shoots a wide-open three. That is not how the Lakers are going to win the championship, with Anthony Davis shooting threes. That's Danny Green's job. That's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's job. I understand that Anthony Davis hit about 4 threes last night, but that's not his job. At 6'10", 6'11", walking around averaging 28 and 12. That's how you win championships, okay? Anthony Davis and the Los Angeles Lakers are not going to win if you're shooting threes. At some point in time, somebody else got to step up. Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Green. When you get Dion Waiters up in the lineup, him, somebody else. But when it's Anthony Davis, I want your behind in a post of 15 to 17 feet away from the basket and being a man amongst boys, especially against the Brooklyn Nets. That's what you need to do, because doing that, what they did last night, plays into the hands of the elite teams in the game that don't want Anthony Davis anywhere near the basket because he's virtually unstoppable from there. That's all I'm saying.
That's why it wasn't a big deal, because the Nets are not one of the elite teams in the game this season. So the fact is the Lakers had an emotional letdown. I'm not saying they didn't play hard. I saw them hustling. But you just have to know that there's a difference between the Bucks are coming to town, the Clippers are coming to town. You win both games. LeBron makes his statement, the whole thing, and now you're playing the Nets. And by the way, they had an open look. It looked like a good shot to me. And it was 50-50. They should have won that game even with the emotional letdown. Let me tell you who I do think it was a big deal for, though. I think it was a big deal for the Brooklyn Nets. And I think it was a big deal for the Nets because Kevin Durant is going to make them better, because KD, added to any team that ever existed, makes the team better. He's the ultimate team player, in fact. One of the reasons that he's not considered even greater and higher up in the pantheon of all-time greats is because he sometimes doesn't assert himself in a way, or hadn't always in the past, because he's always making the right basketball play. Always. He's not like Jordan and Kobe and guys like that would sometimes make maybe technically not the right play, but they make it right and they take over alpha and all that stuff. KD's just always making the right play. At 6'11", he can shoot and everything. Kyrie, however, you don't just add him to any team and make them better than ever was. Any team ever, KD makes better. Kyrie, we've seen him make a couple teams worse in recent years, including the Nets maybe, who seem to function better without him. It's inexcusable because Kyrie is arguably the most skillful player who ever lived. The best finisher in the paint under the rim I've ever seen. The best handles I've ever seen. An elite shooter. A high basketball IQ, the whole thing. And yet, he has had that effect on teams, undeniably. So when I see this one, I say, ooh, Karis LeVert and Dinwiddie and these guys, boy, they're really, really good. KD's going to make them better. Can Kyrie learn how to also make them better?
Maybe. Now, I want to go back to the Lakers piece of this, though, and Stephen A., I will disagree with you slightly. Here's the degree to which I think it is a big deal. Yes, this was your classic trap game. They just played the Bucks and Clippers, and they have huge games coming up. They have Utah twice and the Nuggets. So this was the game that fell in between. But I have been campaigning, including on this show, for LeBron James to be the MVP of the league. And do you know how he gets that? If they catch Milwaukee and finish with the best record in the NBA. I think that's the key. And this was a devastating loss. Correct. Yeah. Something like that. I don't have the standings in front of me. They are behind them. And this is a gimme, or it should be a gimme. You're playing the Nets, who just fired their coach and don't have Kyrie or KD yet. This should be a gimme. And they're going to take their foot off the gas at some point, the Lakers are, as they get to the end, because they have such a comfortable lead in the West. So you figure they're going to rest Anthony Davis a little. They're going to rest LeBron a little as they play the final week or so. My goal is to get LeBron James the MVP this season. And in my opinion, and from what I've heard from people on my set, including you, Stephen A., big factor in that will be, do they finish with the best record in the NBA? And this hurt.
I guess what I'm trying to say to you, Greeny, is that with all due respect, your personal emotions certainly to be respected, but that doesn't make it decide whether it's urgent or not. What I'm pointing to is something from a basketball schematic perspective. If you are the Los Angeles Lakers, any opponent you play wants Anthony Davis shooting threes. And what I'm saying to y'all, forget the three-point shot per se as just a three-point shot. It's the last play of the game. LeBron draws an entire defense to him. Yes, Anthony Davis is open. My
just hit two.
My point to y'all is that where are all of these other guys that's supposed to be their job? Why are you there? Why are you there if I can't find you to make sure that you're the person?
So you're not
putting
judgment
it
as a
on
point
LeBron
guard?
or
I'm not
AD?
questioning LeBron's judgment at the point guard because he made the right play because Anthony Davis was open.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is that if I'm Frank Vogel, why have I designed a play that left Anthony Davis that open instead of a Danny Green or Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or somebody like that? Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis. I get that. But that's not the guy that I want taking threes because in the end, if they do it come playoff time, it feeds right into everybody's hands.
This is a flaw in the design of the team, which is why I say usually when you move mountains to bring in an AD, it takes another year to get all the details right. You talked about Bradley Beal. Oh, if only they had Bradley Beal. That's asking a whole lot. Of course, if they had another third star. But they don't. Their two stars are a point guard and a forward center, neither of whom are great shooters. They both shoot it well enough for the position for sure, but neither one are lights-out shooters. So they don't have that third wheel who's a killer knockdown clutch shooter who hits big threes. Like Danny Green has been that in the past, but he's not an elite player. They're missing that. They're missing that element.
LeBron also missed a layup at the rim that would have tied it a few seconds before. But Stephen A., I think you're missing my point.
Which you'll never miss
This
again.
is not about my emotions, although they are included in
I
this.
agree with you.
LeBron James winning the MVP award at the age of 35 would be a very big deal. Historically, you look over the history of the NBA, and we know that's what he's playing against. He's not playing against players on the court now. He's playing against ghosts. He's playing against Michael and Wilt and Kareem and guys like that. An MVP award at the age of 35 would be a very significant thing when we ultimately assess the career of LeBron James. He doesn't have a bunch more chances to win these.
Time out.
This is a big deal.
Time out. But Greeny.
Yes.
Greeny.
Yes.
If LeBron James were not to win the MVP
Yes.
this year, would his legacy be stained in any way?
Not stained.
Not at all. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.